Hello, everyone. So, once again, I'm here with the ninth session of the webinar series based upon my book, Pivot with Purpose. As during this series, we are going through the journey of the product via product life cycle, and we are seeing what are the strategic decisions need to take. So with that, I'm your host today. I'm Vikas Avasti. I'm Agile coach, product strategist, and the author of book Pivot with Purpose. And I'm here to share the today's session based upon the book Pivot with Purpose. So let me share my screen and let's move ahead with this session. So today's session is all about evidence-based growth from post-launch insights to portfolio leadership. So we will walk through this session and quickly we'll have a recap of something, whatever we have done in the previous session. And today we will cover post-launch monitoring and KPI frameworks. So far, we have covered ideation and inception, where we discussed about how the idea can emerge, what kind of research need to be done initially to validate the ideas. After that, we did feasibility and planning. We also conducted a session on the 5-day design sprint to validate the idea well before launching to the real environment, right? And after that, we discussed design to development, where we discussed about some design thinking principle, what we discussed about lean UI UX. If you want to go through all these things, please look into the another video or the previous video of this session, this series. You will get to know more about it. And after that, we discussed about introduction and growth. What are the aspects which we need to take care during the growth time? And right now, we are in the market testing and beyond. Market testing and beyond. We are seeing we are ready to launch. We have launched basically, but what are the things which we need to take care even before launch or the entire journey? So we will deep dive all these points today during today's session. So let's start with so I'm just setting a background that what we are planning to discuss and why we are having this session. Basically, your product is live. Now the real performance begin. The focus will be monitoring real world impact. What should be the effective KPI? See, KPI can be a number of, but we need to limit it with that. What are contributing and what are the effective one? We need to see those KPIs. And as I mentioned, if you'll see in my book, the iterative learning, iterative development, this is an iterative cycle. Product development cycle is iterative. It is not a one step journey. Whatever we are discussing should be completed in an iterative manner. And with data points. How to deep dive into data point, we'll discuss these today. Now, why post-launch monitoring is mattering that much basically? The first point is product evolves through user interactions. It is not that you have ideated and the product is working. That's fine. No, that's just the beginning. What evolution will happening based upon the user interaction? You might be saying there's some product like Coca-Cola, they are not evolving. They have the same test, whatever they were having a few years back or decades back. No. If you will see the packaging, the distribution, comfort for the customer, a lot of things has changed. For one, I'm talking about only one drink, that is Coca-Cola. The variation product line, that's also there, but that's a different thing. So product evolved through user interactions, data-driven decision making. So previously we were having the data based upon some assumptions. Also we did the market research, but that data may or may not be sufficient. Now we have our real data. So it's a time to gather real world data, how our product is performing, and work based upon that. Let me give you an example. Netflix launches a series, any series, what they are, like Stranger Things, let's take, right? They that can work, that can be a hit or not a hit, right? So, based upon some assumptions, they develop that series. And after that, based upon the real world data, the connecting to the user, what is the right geography, what is the right people, what is right demography, they can promote that. And that can come with the real data. So, one part, whatever we have taken assumptions based upon some research, right now, since we are in the market, our product is we has the real customer. So now let's get real world data, and that is much important than the assumptions, right? Enhance user experience. So as we move on, it's related to the above 2 point and sustainable growth. What we want, we do not want the growth like the growth is there, people are utilizing it, and then they are not utilizing. No, we want a sustainable growth whenever we are working on a product, right? So that's why post launch monitoring matters. There are certain key aspects which we need to consider, which we need to take care during this. First is we need to define what are the key performance indicator. The indicator may be user engagement, how much user or how much I'm able to convert, what is my conversion rate, churn rate. All those things will come into the key performance indicator, and we will discuss in detail about the key performance indicator. Data collection and analysis. How are we collecting the data? What is the source of the data? That is the important thing. And analyzing that data to utilize it for the future. Doing RCA as well based upon the data. Iterative improvement. Again, it's an iterative process like feature prioritization, continuous improvement, whatever we need to do. If we are monitoring, we are getting the right details, and we will be able to iterative improvement. Performance dashboard. Create performance dashboard based upon the KPI and let it be visible. People should be able to see that. There may not be one performance dashboard, there may be multiple performance dashboard based upon the need of the user, benchmarking against industry standard. How am I doing with the industry standard? Sometime if I'm not doing good with the industry standard, it is it good time to like decommission the product? A lot of things will happen, right? How can I improve that? When Jio launched in India, a lot of telecom service provider, either they decommission or they pivot or merger happened. Feedback loop closer. Whatever we are communicating with the customer, whatever we are getting, we need to close that loop. And there are certain nature of the post-launch monitoring. It is dynamic. It is not a one-time. It is dynamic. It is evolving. It is ongoing and iterative. Require continuous vigilance and connect user behavior to product evolution. Let me give you an example. Let's go to the same example of the Netflix. The one research done for the one series may not work for the other one, right? So that is the continuous process. There is a possibility the person is interacting, the user is interacting with a lot of person, and his or her taste may change. We need to see where it is moving. Now, let's focus on KPI specifically. What is KPI? KPIs are quantifiable measures used to evaluate success of product. And that success will be related to our strategic goal and objective. It should not happen that our success is not related to our strategic goal. So KPI should be tagged with that. What is the benefit of using KPI? First of all, it align effort. I know where I need to focus, which KPI I need to improve. I may not be able to work upon 20, 30, or 40 KPI, but 4 KPIs or 2 KPIs where I need to work, I'll focus on that. That's why I'm talking about the product driven KPI here. Tracking progress, I'll be able to track that how I am moving, what is the progress. Facilitating decision making based upon the KPI data, where are we doing, how where are we doing good, where are we doing not good. Decision making will be easy. I know my strategic goal, I know my objective. Based upon the strategic goal and objective, we discussed about OKR in one of this session. Now we based upon the OKR, we know what are my KPI, and it will help me in taking decision. Enhancing communication. Why I'm saying enhancing communication? See, there can be communication and you can talk in a various ways, various type in a 1 hour meeting. But if you understand the KPIs for your product, it will be very easy where I need to focus. And optimizing performance. This is very important. I have limited resources, limited people. Then I need to optimize my performance. How am I doing? Where I need to put more effort, where I need to put less effort. If I'll be able to understand what are my product driven KPIs. So this is very important aspect. If you do not have your KPIs for your product, then definitely something is wrong, right? Now, from the KPI or matrices, sometime we used to get a lot of KPIs. KPIs always looks good most of the time, right? Let's pick this, and create a dashboard. But what my suggestion is, do not go or do not track into the vanity metrics basically. Understand what are the matrices or KPIs are actionable and what are not actionable. So there are two kind of API: vanity matrices, KPI, vanity matrices and actionable matrices. Vanity matrices looks good what didn't inform decisions. Like total number of users for this application. Maybe we may acquire these users in 10 years duration or 5-year duration. But how it is helping me? If I may get in last 3 months, we are able to acquire that much of user, and that much of user are able to like able to register and utilize the application. App downloads, does that matter how many people downloaded my app, but they are not using it. So it may looks good, but it is not providing me any insight, right? On the other hand, actionable matrices are fostering improvement and product success. These are directly related to product success. What is retention rate of my customer? What is the conversion rate? How many people are downloading the app and how many people are really utilizing the app for their day-to-day work or whatever the purpose of the app? Pirate matrices. How many are able to activate? How many are recommending me? All these matrices will important. So do not fall into trap of vanity matrices. Figure out what are actionable matrices for your reference. Although we will see, while we will discuss about the EPM, we will discuss about that what can be the possible way or possible thing to define what are the right matrices. Whenever we are defining or building a KPI framework, we need to keep certain things in mind. First of all, what is our strategic objective? Consider that in mind. It should be KPI should be supporting the SMART goals, right? Identify key business drivers. What are my key business driver? Is this retention? Is this growth? Select relevant KPIs. KPIs which can be measured and which are directly related to the outcome. Set realistic target. Challenging target should be there, but realistic. That should be achievable. Assign ownership. Drive accountability. Create a group. Create a people who is accountable for which KPI. The accountability should be very clear. And importantly, keep reviewing in iteration time to time. KPIs evolve. As product evolve, user is also evolving, organization or the producer is also evolving. Everyone is evolving in an ecosystem. So review time to time. This is not one time thing that now I have identified KPIs and it will work for 5 years. No. A lot of things will change during the journey of the product. Even it depends upon at which stage we are for the product in the life cycle. Now let me explain you leading indicator and lagging indicator. Leading indicator is a forward looking and lagging indicators are backward looking. Both are important. Forward looking are supporting us what we need to prioritize, what feature we need to prioritize, what new things we need to bring, what new actions need to be taken, while the lagging indicator or the backward looking indicator will help us based upon the past what need to do. What is my revenue in past? How can I improve that? Yeah. And the lagging indicators are for the validating strategic impact, and leading indicators are enabling the proactive actions. And there are certain product life cycle KPIs. These are very important. Again, these are some of the examples, right? There can be some more based upon your reference, but these KPIs will cover most of the product life cycle KPIs, which are very important from the product level. Cost to acquire a customer, CAC. What cost I need to incur to acquire a customer overall, irrespective of marketing investment, sales investment, everything. Most of the time, it is important when we are at the introduction and the growth stage. And our focus should be to reduce this cost to acquire a customer. Like SEO lead inbound strategy, we can get some organic traffic, people are reaching out to us, may reduce by 40%. These are the examples of some of the organizations. What is my lifetime value? How much I can get from a customer during the lifetime of the relationship of the product and customer? Especially whenever we are in growth and maturity time, it is very important. How to increase that? Sometime we must have seen the loyalty program. Samsung is giving a lucrative offer to old customer whosoever have having the previous version of the mobile if they want to upgrade that. So there are a lot of things where you can utilize to increase the lifetime value based upon the product. retention rate, how many users are continuously engaging, how much percentage of the user we are able to retain in a certain point of time, what is the stickiness, what is the satisfaction. Sometimes it might also possible that there is no competition, that's why people are stick to one product, but we need to understand what is the scenario. What is churn rate, percent of customer who stopped using the product, especially during the maturity and decline phase, it happens a lot. We can improve the feature, we can improve the offering. The competitor analysis will help a lot in this scenario. Net promoter score, NPS. We need to understand that how many customers are our promoters. We need to understand. So key product life cycle KPIs are very important to understand the sentiment of the customer and understanding the real value we are giving to our customer. If any of these is not working correctly or not providing yielding the intended result or intended rating, then something is wrong. We need to look what need to improve. Now let's talk about one of the framework that is about evidence-based management. This is taken from scrum.org, and there are four dimensions you must be seeing. One is current value, time to market, ability to innovate, and unrealized value. The upper part is mostly focusing towards market value. What is our current market value? And what is something which we are not able to utilize right now? So this is current value is where value is currently delivered by the organization. And unrealized value is what is the additional potential value that could be achieved. That is all about the market value. This is current, and even this can be achieved. Basically, we can target this one. And another is time to market. This is organizational capability. How I am doing within the organization. How long does it take to deliver new value? And ability to innovate. Because it will keep you in the competition. If you are not able to innovate, you will not be in the competition. So these are four dimensions. First two belongs to the market value, the bottom two belongs to the organization capability. And it is a very beautiful framework. Our KPIs should be balancing all these aspects. We need to check if the balance is there or not. Some example we can discuss, like in a current value, what is revenue per employee? What is product cost ratio? What is total expenses and cost for the product system being measured? What is employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction, customer uses index? It will tell me what is my current value. Unrealized value, what is market share? How much market share I am able to capitalize? What is the customer or user satisfaction gap? So the customer which are not satisfied, maybe a new market for me, or unrealized value. Desired customer experience or satisfaction, right? So these are unrealized value. And time to market, again, this is organizational internal. Build and integration frequency, how fast I am able to deliver new features. Release frequency, release stabilization period. MTTR, mean time to repair. Customer cycle rate, lead time. If you will see, release frequency, mean time to restore, lead time, all of these part of DORA matrices. Dora matrices are given by Google. We will cover Dora matrices in detail in some of the sessions. But time to market is very important. If our customer is able to release new feature in 2 weeks time and we are able to release in 6 weeks time, then definitely the competitor is having edge on us. And in the fast paced environment, it is very important. And ability to innovate. Whenever we are able to innovate, what is our innovation rate? How many new innovations we are bringing? What cost or effort we are putting onto into the new product capabilities? What is the defect trends? All these things are important. Again, I'm going back to the slide, basically evidence-based management slide. This is very important to understand what is our current value, what is unrealized value. This will help me. This will help me eventually where my progress is as a product, and time to market and ability to innovate will help me. How can I innovate and be relevant and can optimize my operation? Right. So these are the KPIs, and if you'll see in nutshell, what we discussed, like a post launch is not a post effort. We should be take care at the starting only. Success is continuous learning and responsive actions. Monitoring is a habit, not a task. It is not something which is done, it's a regular thing. KPIs must be actionable, aligned, and adaptive. We need to make sure that we are not falling the trap of vanity matrices. We have to choose the right matrices for each product stage, as we discussed about the product led KPIs. Balance leading and lagging indicator, forward looking and the backward looking KPIs, and make KPI ownership and iterative team habit. And at the end, we discussed about the EBM, the four dimension, which is very important. We need to see our API, KPIs should cover all these four dimensions. So key performance indicator is a very important aspect. For that, we need to understand what is my strategic goal, what is my OKR objective in key result, and where I want to be in the market. And based upon those four dimensions in the EVM, we should define what are my KPI and make sure visualization and creating right dashboard is very important. And in the today's era, analyzing these KPIs with the help of AI, machine learning, providing the trend is really important. Although we will discuss one of the session about the AI and machine learning to get this indicator, but just giving a glimpse that it is very important. So we are at the end of the session. In the next session, we will cover about sustaining success maturity stage. So we will move towards the maturity stage and we will see what are the challenges at the maturity stage and how can we continue that maturity and growth stage. So we'll discuss in detail. So at the end of this session, so I hope this session is fruitful. And as you know, I'm conducting this series based upon the pivot with purpose. There will be few more sessions which will cover. We will go till the end of the product life cycle and some AI and ML decision making as well in this series. If you like, please subscribe and like the video and stay tuned for the next webinar in this series. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day ahead.